My name is Taina Bieneme, and I am the Executive Director of the Coalition Against Trafficking in Women and a member of the Coalition for Comfort Women. Happy International Women's Day. In New York City and around the world, we are celebrating the achievements that everyone has made for women and girls' rights, but it is also a day to remember the enormous work that we have to do to achieve equality and end violence and discrimination against women and girls. It is also a great honor to be here with our New York City Council members, Laurie Cumbo, and New York City Council member Peter Koo, as well as the extraordinary comfort woman survivor, Halmuni Yong-soo Lee. Extensive historical data shows that Japan's imperial government established a system of brothels in zones to combat, specifically designed for military use, called comfort stations. Over an estimated 200,000 women and girls as young as 13, euphemistically known as comfort women, who came from over 36 countries across Asia, including Korea, China, Taiwan, Vietnam, the Dutch East Indies, and other territories, who were trafficked for sexual slavery. Now, today, as we celebrate International Women's Day, we commemorate the courage of these women who have left us and those who are surviving, who are very few across Asia and around the world. But it is also key for us to remember that human trafficking, that trafficking in women and girls for sexual slavery, is still a human rights scourge that plagues the districts of our New York City Council members here today with us, New York City, and everywhere, every village around the world. And so it is a great, great honor to be here with one of the survivors who will remind us that we must never forget. And we urge the Japanese government, especially and exclusively, actually, the Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, to officially apologize and recognize the atrocities, the state-sanctioned atrocities that the Japanese military has inflicted on thousands and thousands of women and girls.
It is my honor to stand with you all today to celebrate International Women's Day and to use this day as an opportunity to amplify the voices of comfort women survivors and their families, as well as to honor the comfort women who are no longer with us today. I want to give a special thanks to the Center for Asian Pacific Affairs, the Coalition Against Trafficking of Women, the Korean American Association of Queens, Korean American Civic Empowerment, and the Filipino American Unity for Progress. I'm particularly pleased to stand with my colleague, Councilmember Peter Koo, because the unity of both of us show just how different we both are, but that we recognize that this is an important issue. We come before you today, as we do many times, right here on the steps of City Hall. But today is honestly something that I did not anticipate. Coming here, we do so many press conferences, but seeing Grandma Lee here certainly makes this particular situation very real. And so when we're urging the Japanese government, not only just for an apology, but to do what we have done here today, to look into the eyes of Mrs. Lee, to look into the eyes of so many women who have faced such atrocities, and to honestly look into their soul, to give them that apology, to understand the pain that they have experienced throughout their lives, to give them an opportunity to reclaim their dignity, not just doing it politically, but doing it directly, doing it in a heartfelt manner, doing it in a way that they can feel it. What you will also find that I will explain in that way to the Japanese government is that when you look into their eyes, you will also see a story of strength, of resilience, of courage, of bravery. It is that type of strength that we all need in terms of how to deal with the most complex situations in our personal lives, as well as that globally. We are missing an opportunity when we do not recognize the strength of the comfort women. And when we talk about comfort women, we're talking about something that is a nice term, that sounds like a nice thing. But comfort women is a really very brutal thing. As a woman, my greatest fear in the entire world is to be sexually assaulted or raped. I can't imagine the atrocity that women face being raped every single day by dozens and dozens of men. And when we don't speak up, what we allow to happen is what Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke about. He said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And while we don't recognize what has happened to the women that are from Korea and through many parts of Asia, we do an injustice to those almost 300 girls in Nigeria who were abducted through our work and advocacy to create the Bring Back Our Girls campaign. Those girls in Nigeria are depending upon the Japanese government to say that what happened to those women is wrong. What's happening to the women in Nigeria is wrong. And we have to, with the responsibility of government, to say that it is wrong wherever we see it. I want to thank at this time Ms. Lee for being here. I recognize you. I thank you for your courage, your tenacity, and your strength. You give women on this International Women's Day the courage to know that our voices need to be elevated and they need to be heard. You speak for women all over the world today. The total number of comfort women is still unknown. It's estimated between 200,000 and 400,000 women and girls became sexual slaves in an international network of brothels and rape camps organized under the Japanese government and were kept in slavery by the Japanese Imperial Army. The large majority of these victims, who I see now as victors, were Koreans. But the Japanese military also captured and utilized Chinese, Taiwanese, Vietnamese, Filipino, Dutch, as well as Indonesian women. The comfort women included girls as young as the age of 12. I fully support comfort women survivors and their families in their quest to seek a genuine, heartfelt, thoughtful, meaningful public apology to them as well as their families. I want to encourage all of you to raise your voice when it comes to this particular issue. Don't see this as an Asian issue. See this as an international, global issue. When we do not speak up for the voice of women anywhere in the world, we are putting them in further harm and danger. And again, I want to thank you, Ms. Lee, for being here and for being such a strong champion and voice, particularly on International Women's Day. You are my shero. Thank you.
What an incredible honor for all of us to be with Mrs. Lee today. I want to thank her for her bravery and courage and determination to make sure that the horrific crimes she endured cannot happen to others. It takes tremendous spirit for one person to speak out against the power of an entire nation.
That's right.
We do this because we know that we must not forget.
That's right.
We must not forget the atrocities that occur to these women. And we must educate our future generations about their history, no matter where it occurs. If the city will not recognize the struggles of comfort women, we must take it upon ourselves to honor them.
That's right.
네, 안녕하십니까.
Hello everyone.
역사의 산 저는 이용수입니다. 한국에서 왔습니다.
My name is Yong-soo Lee. I am the living proof of history. I came from Korea.
여러분, 윤혁입니다. 어디 없이 아세아 전체 우리 여성을 위해서는 저는 어디에도 가리지 않습니다.
Wherever it is in the world, I would go and I would travel to everywhere. And I came to New York for the human rights of women.
네, 이 얘기를 해드리겠습니다.
I will tell you a story.
일본이 공식적인 사죄하고 법적인 배상을 해야 됩니다. 하면
Japan must offer official apology and legal reparation.
일본이 해결하면 세계가 해결됩니다.
If Japan resolves it, the world will resolve it.
두 번 다시는 이런 일이 없이 저는 피해자를 당한 본인입니다. 그런데도 아직까지 일본은 거짓말만 하고 있습니다.
I am the victim herself. So in order to make it not to repeat ever again, we need to do this. However, Japan is keep denying what happened.
진실 앞에서는 못 막습니다.
But you cannot block the truth. You cannot stop the truth.
반드시 뉴욕의 개란을 채택해야 됩니다.
And I strongly urge the city of New York to adopt the resolution.
시에 계시는 시장님 여러분 정말 감사합니다. 고맙습니다.
I am deeply appreciative and grateful for all of you, including the mayor of New York. Thank you.
저는 이 해를 위해서 여성 인권 운동가입니다. 반드시 해결하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
I became a human rights activist in order to resolve this issue no matter what. Thank you for your support.
네, 고맙습니다.
Thank you.
고맙습니다.
My name is Dong-chan Kim, the president of the Korean American Civic Empowerment. First of all, I'd like to thank Ms. Yong-soo Lee, who came from Daegu, South Korea. I also like to thank Councilwoman Laurie Cumbo and Councilman Peter Koo for spearheading and fighting against the human trafficking and advocating human rights of a comfort woman. As other speakers mentioned, the comfort woman issue is not an issue in the past. It is still an ongoing issue, and it will be an issue on our next generations unless we learn from our past,
That's right.
stop repeating the same wrongdoings, and teach our next generation about our past wrongdoings.
That's right.
As the international community is recommending to the government of Japan, first, Japan should acknowledge apology and accept historical responsibility for comfort women. Second, Japan should refute any claims denying or downplaying the comfort woman issue. And Japanese government should educate current and future generations about the crime. We will stand strong together with the comfort woman victims until Japan sincerely accepts its historical responsibility. Thank you.
Continue the fight.
계속 싸웁시다.
We're here with you. That's right. We're here.